welcome to Arkansas YarnCast. I'm Lorri.
I'm Anna.
I'm Jessica.
And we are coming to you from Malvern, Arkansas, the home of Arkansas Yarn Company. And we are super excited to be podcasting with you guys today. Hey, what do y'all have on the needles?
So I have started 2 new projects since the last podcast.
2?
So everyone knows I was super excited for my Stephen West project, for the Yarn Along, and so I did get that started. Let me pull it out. I have 2 projects in the same project bag right now. Because for some reason that's what I did.
Because you don't have enough project bags.
Apparently. That's exactly what it is. I need new project bags, please. But I got started on this last week, and it's coming out really... that's not going to show up on the video.
No, we're going to have to take pictures.
I will have a picture taken so that y'all can see this, because it's gorgeous in person. But it is basically a neon yellow with orange speckles. And this is a very interesting pattern, because the very first thing that you do is a yarn over. Before you knit any stitches, you do a yarn over at the beginning of the row.
So I tried it.
It takes you a second to like figure it out because it's not something we're used to doing.
It's like for 1 minute, you sit there and you're like, I'm smart enough to do this. I know how to do this. But your mind doesn't let you do it. And I'm not joking. It just won't.
So this is the Ilex shawl from Stephen West. That's what the shawl is called, is Ilex. It's really interesting. It's kind of a semicircle shape. But it's squared off on the bottom. So instead of it being just a semicircle, it's kind of a down, across, and then up, and then across.
Like half a hexagon.
Yeah, kind of like a half a hexagon.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting. It starts in the center of the shawl. With this section, and it goes this way, and then you're going to pick up stitches along the outside eyelets.
Oh, so that would be the purpose of the eyelets, to make it easier
to pick up the stitches.
Okay.
So I'm really excited. I've worked very little on this.
Are you making that for your mother?
Are you going to wear neon yellow?
I think I am.
Do you think that she could pull off this neon yellow?
with this new blonde? I think I can.
Probably.
I love it. You know why? Well, this one is pretty, but the other 2 that fade into it have a lot more of my neon pink. And that's why it has more
yes and no.
It has pink in it.
It's a base of orange. And then it's got some hot pink speckles in it.
Yeah.
So it's not going to turn pink. It's going to go from yellow to orange. But yeah, you do see some of that hot pink in there. But this is going to be a very bright shawl. So I think we're getting our money's worth out of our brights.
I'm glad. I'm really glad that we did the brights. I think it's pretty.
I think they're beautiful.
There was one where I liked how was it brights or jewel was the option?
Yes. So the options were brights or jewels.
I think it was the first one. I was like, oh, I really like the jewels.
The jewel colors were prettier in the first one, but the shawl itself looked better in the brights, in my opinion.
But this Lola Bean, is that?
Yes. So the yarn is Lola Bean.
And hers is so fantastic coloring.
It's really vibrant.
It is.
It's really
pretty.
It kind of makes me think that we're not being risky enough with our vibrance, because that is so neon vibrant.
I feel like that too, and I totally want to do something different. Kind of like that different, like I just dyed this whole collection.
We're getting ready to release it.
I'm not sure if I'm done with it yet, but I have 5 colors of it?
We've got
The
3.
purple and the turquoise.
So it's an aqua and purple, and then it's a black and green.
Black and white.
That's right. So there's 4.
But
So there's the black and green, the black and pink, and the black and white.
And I'm calling it the spaced out collection. It is a completely different dye method than I've ever dyed. It doesn't look like anything else in the store. And I just really wanted to do something completely different. So
It's going to be a fun one.
I think so. The black and white one is gorgeous, and so is the hot pink. Well, the green
I like
is
the green too.
And everyone who sees the purple and teal aqua, they want to know if it's for sale yet. It's so pretty. So that's gonna probably. Don't you think that'll be releasing soon?
I would think we will have it in the shop before the crawl.
I think we definitely need to.
Which we've got less. We've got a little over half a month left till the crawl.
Yeah.
Starts July 30th.
It's
by
like
the
so
time
close.
This airs.
So by the time this airs, it will be
Yeah, I guess it'll be right
right about half a month. So that's really exciting. We're really starting to gear up for that.
I think it's like, I personally think it's a lot of fun for me to do outside of my comfort zone colorways, and I'm doing more and more of that lately, just because I get so bored dyeing the same old way all the time. So I definitely want to I like to do.
It's fun to do mini collections.
I think so.
But a lot of people have been really happy that you've been dyeing more of your tonals recently.
Yeah.
You've been restocking more of your tonals recently.
And we're actually going back into the flagship colors that I began my business with. So that's kind of, I have this one hair that's tickling my back. Just one. And that's why I'm fidgety. But I have a lot of fun going back and revisiting. Like, I was looking at all the pictures the other day of my Sweet Shop collection. Saltwater taffy, Dippin' Dots, huckleberry, saltwater taffy. I did key lime pie. I enjoyed, and those were like some of my very, very first yarn collections. So I kind of want to go back to those. They're fun.
kind of revamp them a little bit.
Yeah, well, not saltwater taffy or Dippin' Dots, because those are fun the way they are. But I just want to get back to that. I think it would be kind of fun to every now and then re-release some. But working on the flagship tonals is a good thing.
What was
for
the
sure.
super colorful one you recently dyed? That was
The confetti,
yeah.
the one that was only on high twist.
I think yeah.
Yeah, that one was fun. It's kind of similar to our party in my mailbox, but it's more.
It was more.
It's just more
It had all
speckle.
of
It
it
is.
in there. It was everything.
What are you working on?
So I am still working on that Soho.
Drawstring cami?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's see. I think last time, so 2 weeks ago, I was right at 5 inches. I think it was 4 or 5 inches. And so this week I am at, drum roll please. I mean, come on, where's the drum roll?
I can't drum.
You know, I can't either, but I usually just go ahead and make a fool of myself and try anyway.
How about that?
No. So I'm now at 9 inches.
9
from
inches?
The underarm down. And I think the total is supposed to be like 17 inches. So I don't knit every day.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
You don't knit every day?
I do knit every day.
Yeah,
I don't knit every day, but I want to knit every day. But yeah.
Yeah, so I did finish something, but we're not there yet. And, but I guess, what is that then? 4 inches progress from 2 weeks ago. I really meant to be a lot further. Anyway, how are you doing?
Well, I'm at the last little bit of my row, so let me finish my row,
Well,
and then I'll show you.
I'll let you finish your row, and I'll talk about my other project that I started this week, because it's been a week since I started these last two projects. But we got in a new base from Noro. It's called Sonata. And there was a sweater pattern in a Noro magazine that we absolutely fell in love with. I have my tie tangled around my yarn. Give me just a moment.
There was a skein of yarn I was working with this month that kept getting all up in itself.
So the Noro Sonata, we absolutely fell in love with the colors, and then we found this sweater in a Noro magazine, in the most recent Noro magazine, that we absolutely fell in love with, and we had to order the yarn for the shop. But this has been a very easy pattern. It's pretty much a thick and thin sport weight on average yarn. And then the sweater is called number 18 Golden Moss, if you want to look it up on Ravelry.
Well, we can have Lucas put a picture in.
Yes, I definitely will have Lucas put a picture in of the sweater, because it's really hard to see the garter and stockinette
because it's quite lovely in person.
It is. It's such
and the
a
color.
There, that kind of shows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it's a combination of garter and stockinette striping, and it's worked flat, which is disappointing because who likes working their sweaters flat?
Not really.
But it's knit in one piece, so it's not knit flat in pieces that are then sewn together. It's knit in one piece that is then seamed along the sides and underneath the sleeves.
Which I don't think that's bad.
I don't think it's as bad.
That's not that bad.
It's not. But
it's easy, just whip it up.
I've done the majority of this on Friday and Sunday. So it's only been really about 3 days of me working on this.
What size of needle?
It's knit on size 7s. So
that makes a nice drape.
It does.
In that.
So there is, obviously you can kind of see through it a little bit. So it's not
in a bad way. I don't think.
Not in a bad way. I
think you could wear a flesh-colored bra underneath and you'll be just fine.
Oh, I agree. It's going to have a really pretty eyelet lace design in the yoke, on the front and the back, and then it's going to be the same patterning from the back down. So that's been a very interesting knit.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's so pretty. Y'all, the other colors that we got, they are amazing.
They are so nice.
The colors are
they're very
vibrant.
They're very beautiful, jewel toned,
gorgeous, vibrant colors.
it's really what you expect from Noro yarn, just very vibrant jewel tones, earthy tones. They're actually just very stunning. It's a brand new base, and so we're still waiting for some of it to come in. They're sending it to us as it gets stocked.
It's literally that brand new. We love it. So I'm still working on my Bright Axis tee. Y'all, I'm sad because I
think every time we start this, you're sad about your sweater.
I am, but I was like,
at one point she was happy until she realized.
And I only had this much left until this morning. Because yesterday I was just cranking on it and I was working so hard on it, and I had all these fun color changes. Y'all, look at the colors of my woolen and nosh. I am going to go out on a limb and say my striping is better than theirs. Because look at the black and the white and the color and the black and the white. It's so pretty. I had another color section and another black and white section before Jessica. So I brought it to Jessica and I'm like, this is so wrong. I was not, I quickly wrote the instructions down on a Post-it note so I didn't have to take the book with me to church. And I was getting ready to start the neck has a little bit extra instructions to it. So I quickly jotted off the first row. I did not write down the second row. So there's 2 row repeats for that next area. And so when I was knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting, and then I'm seeing it grow bigger. So it's starting out
the design.
It's starting out right here, and this whole top part just starts getting a curve to it, like a shoulder sleeve. And then I was like, I don't think I'm doing this right. So then I bring it into the store and I'm like, Jessica. And she's like, well, when did you realize you were doing this wrong? I'm like, when I stopped. So, I mean.
Obviously. Just now.
And then I was like so disgusted with it that I literally didn't knit for the rest of the evening. And this is at like 6 o'clock at night. From 6 o'clock until I went to bed, I didn't knit anything. That is so unusual for me. I always knit I didn't have a skinny can cozy. I'm mad at the pig I'm knitting.
Oh.
So I didn't knit on that.
I meant to ask you about the little pig this morning.
So y'all, you remember?
You have it with you?
Yeah, I do, but it's
okay.
in my bag, so I'll have to show it next time. But so remember that pig I was knitting zonk? Snonk. It was a peachy pig color on Sparkle. I finished. And then Scott says, oh, you should make some red 50-gram sock kits for the yarn crawl, because we're in Woo Pig Suey country.
Yeah, we're in Razorback country.
We're in Razorback country. So I dyed red sparkle and non-sparkle yarn to do this. So I thought I have to have a pig to show the people what it's going to look like. It's so cute. I got to the short row section and I'm like, I am smarter than this. Seriously, I felt like I could not figure.
You were having a hard time.
I just.
Was that sad? That was last night.
That was last night. So I, for some reason, got confused on it, and I don't know why, because it literally, I've already knitted one. I literally have already knitted one. So there's literally no reason why I could not figure this out.
It was
I think I was frustrated with this. Mm-hmm. What I should have had was a gin and tonic, but I didn't. I'm trying not to drink alcohol because I'm trying to slim down a little bit because I'm going to be going to the beach in September and October. So I'm thinking that maybe that might help. So I haven't been having adult beverages, but I should have had one last night. I probably would have felt better.
You probably deserved one at that point.
I totally deserved one. I'm going to have one when I get home tonight because I deserve it.
You know, on Friday, I was just like, there was something on the computer that I have done a number of times now.
I know.
And I'm just like, I don't think it's working.
And she's like, she goes, I think I know what I'm doing, but I don't think I know what I'm doing for some reason. And I said, you just have to press the print label button.
Yeah. I mean,
she's like, okay, I'm going to go home now.
There's days where you're allowed to have a brain fart.
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like all Friday afternoon was my brain fart.
I had a day last week where my brain just did not want to function. Now, I have ADHD, so there's my brain functions differently. But
yours was Wednesday.
Yes, it was Wednesday last week. And it didn't matter like what it was about, but my executive brain functioning just was not there on Wednesday. And I had the hardest time. I would go to do something, and then by the time I got there, I noticed something else, and so I started doing that, and then I forgot what I was doing originally, and it was a back and forth all day, and it was insane. Until somebody came in, and they decided they wanted help choosing colors for a project, and my brain was like, we can do this. Because that is what makes us happy at this point in time.
What'd you do? What'd you pick out for what project?
She wanted to make a bright pair of socks.
Yeah.
And she wanted them to be yellow.
Oh, yeah. I know who that is.
And so I helped her pick out some socks.
You did pick out Sinful Yarns Jelly Bean, Miss Cynthia.
She could not stop thinking about that colorway, and so she had to have it.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah. I enjoyed spending some time with them. They came in and spent some time with us Wednesday afternoon. So that was a lot of fun. I'll tell you, she was an interesting one. They wanted to come in and learn to knit socks on Magic Loop because she had knit socks on double points.
And Miss Cynthia watches.
Yes. So she came in. A little while ago, and wanted to learn how to knit socks on Magic Loop because she had never knit them that way. She had only ever knit them on double points, and she didn't like that. And she had come in and seen me working on a full pair, so 2 socks on Magic Loop. And she wanted to learn how to do that. And I said, well, I'm not going to teach you how to do 2 first. We're going to do 1. And she wanted to bring her friend in. So I was like, yeah, go ahead and come on in. I'll teach you how to do it. And unbeknownst to me, until we actually sat down, she knits left-handed, which means she knits backwards. And so I had to... I wanted to be able to teach her how to do this, but in order to do that, I had to wrap my brain around the way that she knits. And so I had very recently taught myself how to knit backwards to do short rows, because I was doing the slip stravaganza, and I was doing my short row triangles in Surrey on my metal needles, and so those, that was a max of 10 stitches per triangle. And so turning my project to be able to do those short rows, it was very slippery with the Surrey. So I had taught myself very recently, before that, how to knit backwards, so that I wouldn't have to turn my work and lose any of my stitches.
Which I think is also a popular method for, entrelac.
See, I've never done entrelac, so I wouldn't know. So I feel like because I had recently done that, I was able to help her out.
And her socks turned out very nice.
Her socks are beautiful. When they left, they were just getting to the point where they were getting ready to start their heel flap. They had spent several hours with me that day, and they were ready to go home. And so they were about the point to start their heel flap. And when Miss Cynthia came in on Wednesday, she had both socks finished. And she loved them.
Miss Cynthia, you finished both socks?
She kicked them out.
That's amazing.
Knocked them out, I think is the phrase.
And she
the kicking was a pun.
And she loves it. She absolutely loves it. In fact, she loved it so much she wanted to knit another pair. And so the first pair that she knit was out of Ancient Arts. She asked if the Sinful Yarns was the same content, and it is, because she uses the same base that we use. And so it's the same 85-15 merino nylon base. And so I am really excited to see how those jelly bean socks are going to work up.
Yeah.
I'm really jealous too, because I just finished some socks and mine are not that nice.
Are they not?
No. They were going well, and then I finished and they weren't.
Well, let's see them.
Well, that's the finished object area. Are we done with the...
Oh. Well, I also still have Scott socks on the needles. But are you going to teach Miss Cynthia how to do 2 at a time, Magic Loop?
I probably will if she wants to come in and learn.
There you
I
go.
think she would
Miss
enjoy
Cynthia.
that because it's kind of fun to get them both done at the same time, I think.
It
It
is.
is.
I probably, I wouldn't have started on the second one on mine.
That's how I feel. I always have good intentions,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, and I was annoyed
I never
with mine.
knitted that second sock.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, to heck with this, and maybe thrown it in a fire.
Well, and I like doing 2 socks at a time because they're done at the same time,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like I still have another sock I have to make.
And
So,
you don't want to.
and I don't want to.
Exactly.
So I always have a pair of socks going because
That's me.
they're easy transport. So I've not really gotten a whole lot of work done on my house color socks. So I picked these up because it was easy to talk about or to knit while we were talking. I have made a little bit more progress on the heel toe do-si-do Star Trek colorway socks, which this pattern is coming out really fun.
So I never got into Star Trek, but I love how well that looks.
Yeah, no,
It looks good.
The colorways are coming out really nice, and then I didn't grab the 9-inch circular socks that I'm doing in the same colorway. Those are, I have started the heel flaps on those.
Now, and those are cuffed down.
Yes, so all 3 pairs that I'm working on right now are cuffed down. So those are the only other things that I currently have going on other than Lucas's sweater and the other yarn along shawl, which
Yeah.
I have decided I need to take a break on. It's way too much ribbing for me right now when I've got so many other things. It just slows me
It
down.
does. It does.
So I'm putting it aside, and I'm probably going to pick it back up this winter to continue working on that.
When are all those finished? When is the whole collection finished?
This is the last one.
Yeah.
The bright yellow.
Did they have a time frame of?
Oh, I
Here's
don't know.
where-
I'm not participating in the knit along.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're doing prizes or anything like that. I do know that there's a Ravelry group for it, where there's a chatter thread, but I don't know if there's a timeline with the knit along or anything like that. But I know with the mystery knit along in the fall, he generally gives you till the end of October for his knit along for that. So it starts the first Friday in October, and then I believe it goes through the end of November.
Yeah. Okay.
For that. But that's always a fairly large shawl, so not everybody finishes in the month. In fact, I have yet to finish in the month because I have always had other projects going that have come up as well.
You.
Test knits.
Test knits. So there's that.
There's that.
But I do. So I've got 2 pairs of socks that I need to finish for Christmas, and I've got a sweater that I have to finish for Christmas.
You probably ought to get on that. And
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard to get this sweater finished because I want to wear this sweater during the yarn crawl. Because I don't know if you've heard, but this is our uniform. So, yeah, we all want to wear it, and then we have a lot of people who've knitted it with us, and so we want to have a great big group photo of our
That'd be
Broad
fun.
Access
I
tea.
hope everyone can.
So we need
descend.
to. Yeah, we need to set a date for the
We
day
do.
that everyone's going to be there wearing theirs.
I think we should do it the first Saturday.
You want to do it that first Saturday?
I think so, because Jennifer from the Crafted Pearl is coming, and she's doing it, and she is working so hard to get hers finished for the yarn crawl. And then Maddie from Maddie Made by Maddie, and We Share Needles. Kristen it also is doing it. They're going to be here the first Saturday of the
They're
yarn
working
crawl.
hard to get theirs
They're
finished,
working
too.
very hard. Kristen just started her striping, so that's awesome. And then Charlotte knits and knots. She has hers done. She just has to finish her weave in her ends, and she's done. And then there's Cindy and Cindy Orton, and so I think she's gonna try to come to the yarn crawl, and so she's knitted it. And then there's I feel like I'm missing a lot of people, but then there's Valerie, and then there's Tracy.
And your mother-in-law.
And my mother-in-law, she's almost done with her. She's where I was.
We talked to her about this sweater. She, when at the time that my mom decided that she was going to do her back in just pink, my grandmother was at this point where she was getting ready to start her front. So she had already done her striping for the back. Now, the front and the back of the sweater are exactly the same. Exactly the same. They're written exactly the same. You do the exact same thing. But they say in the directions, if you want your back, if the striping not matching when you seam up the shoulders is going to bother you, knit the back in your main color, which is your solid color.
Also, they put that disclaimer in there, if you only have one skein of your favorite self-striping, then you can knit one of the panels in the solid. So
I told my grandmother
to talk her into it.
I told my grandmother, if it's going to bother you if your stripes don't match up exactly when you go to seam up your sweater, then go ahead and knit your front in the solid color, because the front and the back are indistinguishable, especially if you knit the sweater exactly the same bottom up, which mine was not, because I did a split hem, and so I did my back longer than the front. So for everyone else, it doesn't matter which is their front and which is their back, because they're knit exactly the same. Well, you told me the other day she got almost all the way finished with her striping on the front, and she did not like how it wasn't matching up.
So in the beginning, as you're starting on the one side, you start over here, it was matching up really well. But then when you get about to the neckline area, you do some extra things. So you're slipping a stitch purl-wise, and then you're
there's some yarn overs and decreases, and
it changes the striping sequence. It does. And I tried to say to her, it does. And I tried to say, so far I think you've been lucky that it's all matching up, but the chances of it completing out the same are slim, because of these instances that can give the little bit of play in there makes the stripe alter a little bit. She was determined that they were going to match up. And so she has
since ripped out.
She ripped it all out. And now she's
starting over.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, that even if they don't match up, you don't see that. You don't
notice it.
But when you are a type A person and you're seaming it together, you see that it doesn't match up. Yeah. That is why I chose to do mine in pink, because I know that I couldn't deal with that.
So you would know in your heart when you're wearing it.
My pinks don't line up, or my black and whites don't line up.
Well,
and she knows that about herself too.
I think with yours, especially with your thin stripes of black and white, that really would have bothered you.
I really would never have thought.
I know that it would have. I know that it would have.
The thin stripes of black and white, that really would have bothered you if that didn't line up.
And I wanted it to be in this color in the worst way. So I already knew that if I had done anything other than what I've done right now, I knew I was going to be unhappy with it. That's just, I know myself that well, that I would have lost it if it didn't match up. So I just chose to take that out of the playbook and make my back panel solid. So I'm just gonna have stripe on the front, and I'm fine with that. My mother-in-law is fine with it now too. And listen to this. So I said, I'm almost to my neck. I'm at my neck. And then in church, I said, I'm halfway done with my neck. How far are you? And she's like, oh, I'm getting ready to start my neck. It is karma. It is karma. I was boasting to her that I was further along than she was. And that's why I had to rip all the way back to the beginning of the next section. Because, you know, you do this part, and then this part to this part is its own area. And then you go back to what you were doing on this side. It's because I was boasting.
Yeah.
It 100% is because I was boasting. And do y'all see that I'm tan? I went fishing. No. I went fishing yesterday, and I caught a little fish. I caught a couple of little fish.
I think, and I told Jessie this. I was like, I think her little fish is bigger than everybody else's
My fish was bigger. Of the pictures that I took, my fish was bigger, but Scott caught a snap turtle. And so we have had a lot of comments asking about that snap turtle. So he let it go. Obviously, we let everything go back in the water because
was that turtle soup?
No, it wasn't. Yuck. Well, I don't eat meat, so yuck. That would be nasty. But anyway, my whole sweater dilemma is karma.
Yeah, probably.
It is.
I never experienced that.
Really? You're going to now. Hey, you know, today, is it okay if I talk about this?
Yeah, we can talk about this.
So today, Anna and I went and got vaccinated. And so we're sitting across from each other filling out the paperwork. She chose to do Moderna. I chose to do Pfizer. And so we had to fill out paperwork for it and show our ID and our driver's license, and then the lady comes over and she's like, done? I'm like, you're probably gonna need to hurry because I'm scared. And she's like, that, done. Oh, you're done. And then she goes around the desk to Anna and she just in Anna's arm, and Anna's like, ah!
The whole store.
And I'm like, usually people think I'm the more dramatic one, but dramatic?
I do not do well with needles.
She did not. And this is so hilarious too, because then she sends a text message from there, because, you know, now we have to wait 15 minutes to see if we have adverse reaction. And so she sends Jessica and me a group text. We're always on a group text. And she's like, so apparently someone in the back said I was dramatic. And I'm like, no one in the back said you were dramatic. I said you were dramatic.
I'm pretty sure someone in addition.
No one said anything else. And then she goes, and then I bled like a stuck pig. I'm like, you didn't bleed like a stuck pig. You bled for a minute, but you did not bleed like a stuck pig. So we're sitting there, we're just, you know, because now we have to hang out. So we're doing a little shopping to see if there's anything we need. And then we decide, we're going to sit down in these chairs that are quite comfy. Mm-hmm. And this guy comes in and he sits down in the chair in front of us. And so he's filling out the paperwork, and she's like, I'm going to go ahead and give you your vaccination because you have to wait 15 minutes. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And you can fill out this paperwork while that's happening. And he's like, okay, well, can you tell me how I have had COVID? How long do I have to wait before I have the vaccination? She goes, well, how long ago was it? And he said, 4 months. And she's like, damn. And he's like, ow, you gave it to me without even asking. And she's like, you were filling out the paperwork. You needed the vaccination. And he's like, what is your name in case I die? I need to be able to tell my wife. And I'm like, men are the biggest babies. And Anna, meanwhile, is texting me, I think he's more dramatic than I am. Of course he's more dramatic because he's a man.
In other things, she sent that to the group text, and I was watching the store while they were gone, and all I got was, he's more dramatic than I am. And I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Who is this person?
Because I think I was texting the group and I was texting Lorri.
Yeah.
And so it was just like,
it's all good. But then goes, y'all come to my funeral. And I'm like, well, if it's in the paper, we'll know about it.
Oh, he was a hoot. But
He was very dramatic. So obviously he won the prize for most dramatic.
I think he even was like, oh, I'm fading fast.
I mean, it was crazy. It was
He
so
was
crazy.
He was so
And
funny.
and that kind of took the sting out of Anna's drama. And generally, people accuse me of being more dramatic of the three of us. Anna's probably a runner-up.
No.
Yeah, of the three of us, it's me, Anna, Jessa. Don't you think?
Probably.
Yeah.
Jessica's like the least dramatic person ever.
Jennifer
Not even sure she's my kid.
Jessica does not like to react.
No, she prefers to have a poker face.
Zen. Well, she has to.
She's very much like Scott. Scott's like real low key. I mean, because you really can only have one of me in the family.
It's like true.
It's so true. I mean, can you imagine if there's more than me?
So one thing I will say is the needles. I don't think that in even all of my adult years I have had contact with a needle unless someone was there holding my hand.
Y'all.
Are you sure?
I held her hand. She did not hold my hand when I had mine.
Oh, yeah, when I
But there was a whole ordeal leading up to that.
there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also, y'all, we were watching that guy get the shot,
Oh.
and that needle went all the way in.
Yeah.
All the way.
Right up to the plastic
Right
part.
up to the skin. And I was like, I didn't feel like it went all the way in. And it seemed like it was so long. But Valerie says it's a short needle. I didn't
Yeah.
even know how long the needle was. But I don't like getting shots at all.
So in other news, because I'm sure that there are people on our podcast that don't like needles.
Yeah, it's so awful. But if you do like needles, y'all should go to We Share Needles podcast and visit Maddie and Kristen. They will take away all of your fear of them because they are hilariously funny. We obviously love them. We're their home. And yeah, we love them. But you know what I was wondering?
Huh.
Y'all want to know this too? How's Pop-Tart?
Pop-Tart has been stepping out.
Oh, Pop-Tart's cheating on you?
He is.
With who?
Like all of the ladies of the neighborhood. He's, since he's got no chicks of his own, I guess, he's just been wandering around
So
the
he's walking
neighborhood.
other women to their car too?
I should put like a camera on him and be like, who exactly are you escorting to
So
that car?
we went.
He walked me to my car.
Yeah, he did.
So we went over to the co-op on our way to go get our shots. We went over to the co-op to get Pop-Tart some better feed. Anna didn't get any because nothing suited her for a rooster.
Well, I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
sound like what I have been advised. And
By the internet.
Well, that and
Someone else advised
yeah.
her.
So someone that has more experience than myself. And so I just have one rooster. I'm not feeding anything else, like bird wise. And so I guess there's, you can give them something more specific. So I've been struggling trying to figure out how best to feed him. But now that he's like walking around the neighborhood, I'm fairly certain he's getting fed elsewhere.
Yeah, because he's not eating all the food she gives him.
And then also, once he's done hanging out with me, like if I've gone into the yard, done some gardening, he'll stick like so close by. And then I go inside and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna, peace out, go see the other ladies. After all I've done for him.
Do you have less poop on your porch?
I do have so much less poop on my porch.
There's a trade-off.
I know.
There's always a trade-off.
That's what I've been thinking. I'm like, I wonder if those two up the road are finding poop on their porch in the morning. But he does still come back to my porch to sleep.
Well, because your skinny little chair is his favorite.
Yeah.
He's literally, he sleeps on a chair that the back is a very teeny little.
He's so weird. But I guess that they like to sleep on those. I saw when I was looking at like bird housing, you can also get a bar that just like some slim bar for them to snooze upon.
Oh, a sleeping bar?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
So weird. It is weird just because
I mean,
I've never had a
yeah.
stray chicken come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a little odd.
So, yeah.
So this weekend, this past Friday, I finished my test knit.
Isn't it gorgeous?
This is the Wood Woes test knit sweater. It is a sport weight sweater, just a basic raglan. It's got a long body, split hem on the bottom.
It's so good.
And then
So pretty.
it has extra long cuffs that are meant to be rolled up, so you could wear them long, but they're meant to be folded over. And this was a very easy, fast knit. It's sport weight yarn knit on size 8 needles. And so I finally finished that this weekend.
And I know that you are going to ask, yes, I'm going to be dyeing a colorway that's similar to this. It's probably not going to be exactly like this because this was specifically for Jessica, but I am going to dye
Something similar.
Something very similar. Added some green into this. Just so it could be a little more of a minty color, but we will be having sport weight yarn in stock for this sweater. I ordered a bunch of it. I just need to get it dyed. I'm going to work on that this week, I think.
I believe the pattern is going to be released August 2nd.
Oh, coming up.
Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn or Dragon Horde Designs is very good about releasing her pattern the day after the deadline for her test knit. So the deadline is August 1st. So I would imagine that the pattern is going to be released on August 2nd, which, if I remember correctly, is going to be a Monday.
Oh, good.
So that's really exciting. It's a really easy test knit. It's a really easy knit. It's great for if you need a beginner sweater. Her patterns are very clear. They're very well written. She has them extensively tested.
Oh, and also I'm going to say this because I'm super particular about the neckline. I tried this on and the neckline is so good. And I mean, it is so good. It's not super high up on your neck. It's not super low.
No, it rests really well right
Right
along
on
the
your collarbone.
And she does have some shoulder shaping in there on the back of the neck. She does her shoulder shaping differently than everyone else does. So any other sweater that I've ever knit that has had shoulder shaping, it never lays right on me. It's like it's too high. She writes hers differently and it lays very nicely. And it's not a lot of shaping. It's just enough to elevate the back of the neck just a little bit. So that way it lays where it's supposed to on the back of your neck.
She's so talented.
Also this weekend, I purchased a Vitrola record player.
Did it come with records?
It did come with some records.
Like what?
So they're old records. They're the nice thick ones. I've done a little bit of research. A Vitrola is a hand crank record player.
Oh, you gotta crank it.
Yes. And they, it looks like, so from what I can tell, it is a Dixie-phonic, rich tones, Vitrola player, or talking box.
Talking box.
I think they called them a talking box.
That's fun.
It's funny.
And I think it probably dates from the 1910s to the 1920s. It is a 78 RPM machine, and it only plays specific vinyls, like the old 78 single song records. So it did come with some their swing type music.
I love that.
There's some classical music in there as well. And I know that one of, like, off the top of my head, one of them is Flight of the Bumblebees.
I love Flight of the Bumblebees.
And then one of them is Boogie Woogie Santa Claus. So that's really exciting.
I'm gonna have to look that one up or be there when you play it.
I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, you should just go.
I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We just need to get some steel needles for it.
Where are you putting it?
I'm not entirely certain yet. We got an old radio cabinet without a radio in it a while ago, and it's been sitting in our living room. But I think this is going to end up being in our dining room, near where we have our water dispenser. Our hot springs water dispenser.
That would be nice there.
And then this past weekend, we also had our conference for the Color Street nails that I sell. And we have some really exciting news that I'm really excited about.
Like what?
So, Color Street has been working towards expanding to be an international product. And we will be releasing in our first international country, Canada, starting August 9th.
You should tell some Canadians to message Jessica.
So I'm kind of hoping that my Canadian connection, Anna, is going to share with all of her Canadian friends.
Or we have Canadian viewers.
We do have some Canadian viewers. If you have been interested in the Color Street polish that we wear, all three of us have it on right now.
I never not have it on. Mine's been on for 2 weeks. They look terrible.
I did mine today, and there's a color shift to them. But if you've been interested, I would love to send you a sample or sell them to you starting August 9th. They are going to be for sale online to Canada, and we are opening up to stylists in Canada as well. So if you would like to get on the ground floor, I'd be willing to give you some information as well.
Jessica has done so well with her nails. She was able to get a new car.
I was. It's
been a good thing for you.
It's been really nice. It's helped me get out of my shell a little bit, and try and meet some new people around here. So I do a lot of outdoor vendor events.
I know y'all don't believe this, but Jessica's the quiet one of us because we're.
It's hard to believe.
It is.
It's very hard to believe.
But she used to not be real chatty, and this has helped her so much. It's been a good thing. That set you have on is super cute.
I love this set. I don't know if I'll be able to capture the color shift in these.
I think that looked really good with your Lola Bean yarn.
Yeah, it did.
I wanted to say, but I knew you were going to talk about your nails. I was like, I can't mention it.
It's really hard to get the color shift, but they've got a green shimmer to them, and so at specific angles,
that's
you
pretty.
get a nice green shimmer. But it's really fun. They're called Tutti Frutti, and it's from one of our mini collections, and it's watermelon and pineapple and little berries. It's super cute.
Is mine called Mind Matters?
I think yours is called Mind Matters, and that was a foundation set from a couple months ago. So
mine are black with a gorgeous, they're almost a charcoal.
I would call it kind of a gunmetal gray.
It is.
Silver glitter.
With silver glitter. Glitters are my favorite to wear because I love sparkle, but they last longer. So this set I have had on for 2 weeks, and I really need to change them out, but they chip on the tips and you just file right back to that and it looks like you have a fresh manicure. So I think they're amazing. I never not have them on because, and it makes me feel like I'm together. Yeah, it does.
And that's the one thing. So one thing that I really liked about getting my nails done, I always enjoyed about getting my nails done, is it made me feel put together.
Yeah.
But going and getting my nails done, the polish never stayed on my nails. It didn't matter.
Well, you don't get designs like this either.
Well, you don't. You definitely don't.
No.
But with...
Ooh, are you going to show yours?
With Color Street, it's dry nail polish, and I put it... You put it on your nails like a sticker, and it lasts. So I can get 3 weeks out of a glitter, and I can get about 10 days out of a solid without anything on top of it. But they're very customizable. You can mix and match the different sets to create your own manicure, and you can get designs that you would pay an arm and a leg for at a nail salon.
Or that you would never get at a nail salon, like the little Santa face or the reindeer with little lights on the antlers. Yeah. You couldn't get that at a salon. You absolutely couldn't. No. And I don't know about y'all, but I just don't have time to go to those places. And I always have good looking nails every single time, every single day, because I do them here in 10 minutes. I do them here in 10 minutes.
I did mine right before we started. I took my polish off this morning before I left the house, and then I did my nails right before we started here for the podcast, and it took me 10 minutes to do my nails.
Yeah, she had come over where I was fixing this up, and she says, I wanted to do my nails for the podcast, but I don't want to hold anyone up. And then the next thing I know, I go into the other room and she's already like halfway through.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the one thing that makes me feel put together. Any of y'all that actually have come to see us at the store, you know I don't wear makeup. This is about as done up as I get.
I don't know why.
I mean, Anna and I both. We don't wear makeup here at the shop.
I never go anywhere without it, even to the fishing pond.
She doesn't generally leave the house without makeup on.
I don't.
But
we have people come here all the time to take pictures with us. I don't feel like the other day, the newspaper guy came to take a picture of me. And then the week before that, another newspaper guy came and took pictures of us. And I just feel like being the face of the company that I need to always be together. But beside that, that's just who I am.
Yeah.
It's just who I am.
And so, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I do Color Street. And it's one of those things where we found out about it and we tried it, and then immediately I bought into it. Like,
we were at a retreat and they did it. And I said to Jessica, we put the sample on. And I pulled her aside and I'm like, you have to do this. I'll buy it for you, but you have to do this.
Well, and then, so when I signed up, there was a minimum sale that you had to meet once every 6 months. They just took that off. So you can sign up.
Nice.
You can sign up and you can get a discount on your nails, and you don't have to have a minimum sale ever in order to continue to buy in order to continue to buy at a discount. So
that's interesting.
They recently lifted that restriction, which is really great.
Well, this has been a great thing for Jessica. I mean, she was able to get a new car.
Yeah.
She does. Her Color Streets makes her car payment for her.
So
I'm proud of her.
It did help a lot. And now they can't, I mean, obviously we can't guarantee that
no.
somebody's going to
But for you, and what you've done with it, it's been excellent.
So it's been really nice, and I'm really excited for us to expand into Canada. I think it's great for the company. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary, and I think in 4 years to go from just selling in the United States to selling in the United States and in Canada, that is fantastic.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what sets they have special for Canada.
Well, and your mom really enjoys the sets, and so you've been sending her sets in the post because she's not been able to buy them. She's just not been able to buy them from me. So,
well, now she can order directly from you.
Oh. And I think the shipping will be better than us using
that's
the
nice.
U.S. Postal Service.
I want some maple leaves.
I think that will be a lot of fun. They did give some maple leaves out to the people who went to conference.
Yeah.
So I
need
think
those.
I'm hoping that when they
Somebody get me some.
I'm hoping when they release I'm hoping when they release to Canada that they'll release those, because it was a really beautiful, simple set. It was white. It was a white glitter base with red glitter maple leaves on it.
They were really pretty.
Like, yeah. I want it now. I want it yesterday.
I wish that I had gone to conference just so that I could have gotten it for you.
Yeah, I wish you had to.
But really? I did give you my conference set.
Yes. Which I'm wearing, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm wearing? Okay, I will stand up.
So there was an exclusive set given to stylists just for conference. And it is a silver set with multicolored swipes.
Which
wispies.
Was really going well with a dress I had on one day.
Yeah. And so I gave you my conference exclusive set. So it looks really pretty.
You're good friends.
Yes.
Good friends.
Well, Anna had been saying a couple days before that she couldn't figure out what she wanted to put on next, so I just gave her something.
Oh, that's good.
Like, do this now.
You know what? It kind of makes me think of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think of the new little bags, the little Notion kits.
The little holographic.
Yeah, it makes me think of those. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, they match.
I love it.
Here, show the people
So-
how you match your nails. I mean, it looks so good with it.
They do.
That's all I can think of whenever I saw those. I thought they matched this.
But in addition to that, I gave you some stickers recently.
Yes.
That I recently acquired. So I found a new sticker person. I was on TikTok late at night and...
Oh, TikTok.
It
turns your mind to mush.
I came across this guy who makes stickers that are punny. And so I bought some stickers for Anna and myself because we've been talking about putting stickers on our water bottles.
I love this one.
It says my anxiety has anxiety.
I like the other one that your hand is covering.
It's way too people-y.
Yes.
With the little turtle, he's like, I'm going back.
So I bought some stickers for myself and Anna, and so we stickered our water bottles on Saturday,
yeah.
I like the Suck It Up Buttercup.
Suck It Up
cute.
Buttercup.
So
I've got like a good neighbor stay over there. The Trash Panda is probably one of my favorites.
He is cute.
That's funny.
And then this crab says, I got carbs. And then the duck, stupid autocorrect at the bottom. And then Happy Hooking is this little fox. He's got his little crochet hook and yarn
That's
and his
cute.
blanket. And then it says, chubby unicorns should be horny. Because the rhinos, they're having the issues with the poachers and their horns.
Oh, I get it now.
And then I got a little gaming hedgehog. He's pew, 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 which I thought was really cute. But I really enjoyed his stickers. In fact, I got some extras that wouldn't fit on our water bottles. And they're a lot of fun.
And I have mine color coordinated, so I haven't used all mine. But they came in the cutest little, like, individual
holder.
envelope thing. Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. And then something else I acquired recently, I got more little stitch markers. This one is a strawberry lemonade. It's got cute little strawberry slices in this, just on a little lobster claw. I got a little boba smoothie.
I want a boba smoothie.
Oh,
right
I do
now.
too. And then I got a little leche boba cup as well. And then, along with conference, I got this new sparkly
That is snazzy.
wine tumbler that my sponsor actually made for all of the team leaders for conference.
Mm-hmm.
And so
why don't you tell them who made it?
Yeah,
Unwind
she does a
Originals.
good job of that.
Yes. So Dana Hamilton of Unwind Originals makes these little resin epoxy glitter tumblers.
So gorgeous.
She does a really good job. In
So
fact,
good.
I bought you one. I bought me one that is a big 30-ounce tumbler, and it's got my Color Street business name on it. But then she made our team putting on the glitz these wine tumblers for conference and put the little Color Street logo on them. But look at the sparkle on this.
And that is not doing it justice to what it is in person. It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
It's beautiful glitter.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I think that's all that I have in whips and FOs.
Isn't this the podcast where we're announcing a giveaway?
It is. We need to announce our giveaway. We need
Gonna
to
give
announce
away
what we're
something.
going to
Item
give
that
away.
we're going to give away.
What are we giving away?
Well, Lori, we have. So, this is a needle gauge necklace.
So I don't remember the brand, but it is a needle gauge necklace. So you can see
It's really pretty.
the holes.
It's so pretty.
On one side is the metric measurements, and on the other side is the US sizes, which I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it to see the sizes, but I'll take a picture for Lucas to post on the video. But it is a long necklace. It's on a long chain, and we're going to be giving this away on our next podcast.
What are the requirements?
We were talking about this earlier, and we had to go down to our local coffee shop, Coffee Records. It's just on the other end of the block, conveniently, from where we are.
It's so addicting.
I mean, if you guys have been to visit us, you'll know that we
send you down there.
Yeah, they've got good food and good coffee.
They do.
and good people.
And we each have our favorite drink that we get from them. Mm-hmm. So we would like to know. Go ahead and ask us whatever you want in the comments below. But for this, we would like to know, when you go to a coffee shop, it doesn't have to be coffee, but when you go to a coffee shop, what do you like to get to drink or to eat? What do you like to get from your local coffee shop when you go?
It still doesn't say what it is. We were actually
find
looking
the
up
name
the
of that.
name of the stitch gauge necklace for you.
Currently one of our favorite drinks is
So I like my favorite drink, and if you go down there and say, I'd like the signature drink of Arkansas Yarn Company, they will make you an orange creamsicle frappe.
Now, see, they would not have done that for you today.
But we got there. They got there, and they see the guy. He knows they're gonna order it, so he immediately goes over to the counter and looks at the powder to make sure that he has enough to make the drink. He already knew what the drink was gonna be.
He did, because that's all she drinks.
It is.
Oh my goodness, and it is so good. You guys, you know those
Creamsicle.
those creamsicle popsicles.
Dreamsicle.
Dreamsicle?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
so
I
good.
mean, I always go in and say I need the orangesicle.
See, I said that the other day, and then the kid was like, "Well, you mean the dreamsicle?" And I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Well, it's
You know what I
orange.
want.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
want.
it is so good, but it's just like having one of those popsicles.
Yeah, so I saw Mason at a board meeting, and I'm like, Mason, have you thought about getting a pink one? Because I can sell that for you. But apparently I've done such a great job of selling it that they're out of it. So I had to get something different today. And then she calls me and she's like, so they're out of your drink. What do you want? I'm like, which is why we're asking this question.
Yeah.
We'd like to have something different.
Well, and we get stuck in a rut in what we like to get.
So good.
So Coffee Records is like the one place where I have tried several different ones. But like at all the other coffee shops, I'm just like, Caramel Macchiato.
In what size?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I hate
It's small or
the
large
ones-
here. It's
yeah.
just small or large. It's so much easier for me. It's easier.
So we want to know, when you go to a coffee shop, you don't have to get coffee, but when you go to a coffee shop, what do you like to get? What is your favorite go-to drink?
Or
Yeah.
if you don't go to coffee shops, just say you don't go to a coffee shop and you're still going to be counted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or if you don't go to a coffee shop and you prefer gin and tonic, just tell us that. We'll count it.
No, but see, you have to start your day off with caffeine and then end it with alcohol.
Yeah.
Unless you're Anna.
We have some new shirts coming, and they have that.
They do. They're so cute.
It's so cute.
It says "Plan for the day," and then it has a coffee mug, and then it has a pink glitter State of Arkansas that looks like a yarn ball
With needles.
And then the last picture is a wine glass. So it's coffee, knitting.
I didn't notice that.
Coffee, Arkansas YarnCo, wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's not what it
So
doesn't look
it's
like
It's not that one.
Okay.
I have them over here. But
Yeah.
yes, it's so adorable. So we'll be getting those soon, and we'll be talking about it on Wool on Wednesday. And I want to say thanks. I know a lot of people were watching the last 2 Wool on Wednesdays. Jessica and Anna did it. And I think people were starting to think I died because they did it 2 weeks in a row. I'm still here.
She died,
I
but
did.
just DYED.
That's right. I died. We're just working really hard on bringing all kinds of fun yarn and things to the yarn crawl. We're so excited for the yarn crawl. It's going to be a great event for everybody.
I think my husband already is looking to some of your new yarn for a
Yay.
new thing
new
for
hat.
himself.
A new hair,
every year.
a new hairband, a
Yeah.
hairband.
The new tube.
Yes.
Yeah, a hair tube. We call it that.
Yeah.
It's a hair tube.
You know, you should send me one of those pictures of him wearing his hair tube so
With
that
his hair all.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we can put a picture.
we can put a picture on the
Yeah.
video. That way
Yeah.
people see what you're talking
I
about.
love that.
Oh, he would so love that.
All
Anywho,
right.
I think that's all. We
Yeah.
done?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank
Okay.
you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
So much.
We love to converse with y'all in the comments below, so please put a comment down below, like our video, and share it with your friends. We love that we're over 207
Yeah,
subscribers
I think we're
now.
at like
214.
214. So like, subscribe, and notify. I think Lucas puts those up in I don't know what order. So if y'all don't mind doing that, we would appreciate it. We're trying to grow so much. And I think we should do a grand prize for when we hit 500
I think
followers.
that would be fun. We could do a nice big, we could do a
big
little
basket.
yarn kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do something fun with lots of goodies in there. Arkansas YarnCast swag.
I think we could
I
definitely
love things
do
with
that.
my logo on it. But yeah, we enjoy your comments so much. We're so appreciative when you leave one for us.
Yes.
So we hope that y'all have a really great week, and we will see you next time. Bye, y'all. Bye.